everyone, I'm back on my porch again. I got really motivated by the porch storage on wheels that I did a couple weeks ago. Make sure you check out that episode. I know long term I want to eventually lay down bricks and cover the porch, but for right now I need a for the moment fix. For the moment home decor fixes are fixes that are quick, easy, portable. I can use them somewhere else. So the investment is small, and it's something that I'm probably gonna keep, if I really like the look of it, keep going for a year or so until I can figure out and budget for a long-term solution for this porch. So that's something that you can think about for your own space. Is don't only think about these long-term fixes that are gonna cost a lot, because I estimated the bricks alone would be about $600, $700 just for this small little porch. So I kind of want to wait, put that towards my kitchen, and that doesn't mean you have to suffer with an ugly porch. Everyone has seen, passed by, might have bought some of these wood interlocking tiles at IKEA, any of the big box stores like Home Depot, and they all kind of look the same. They all have either horizontal slats or in this case diagonal slats, and they all have this kind of reddish stain that I don't find very appealing at all. I took advantage of a Cyber Monday sale and got these wood interlocking tiles for pretty cheap. My porch is not very big, so I only took 2 boxes. All right, so that's the game plan. I'm gonna remove everything from the porch. I've never been happier to know that my bins are on wheels. Portability is key when you have a small space. And I'll get working on these tiles and see if we can change the color and have a color that's not going to show up that much dirt. All right. So first, let's get the porch cleaned. So I was playing around with maybe, you know how I like a good herringbone, maybe I could create a little herringbone action, and maybe instead of one stain color, combine 2 different stain colors and alternate, not having them too contrasty, but maybe a tone on tone to give it a little bit more interest, but definitely not this color. It looks a lot redder in person than it does on camera. I started with an 80 grit sandpaper and then finished off with a 220, and then the entire process took about 5 minutes per tile. Okay, now that everything has been sanded and all of the dust has been cleaned off, there's still a lot of redness. I don't know if you can tell in the wood. So I couldn't go as transparent as I wanted to with the wood stain. Now here's another little caveat. You guys might not agree. I've been to the paint store too many times and I've spent so much money on samples. So I'm putting my foot down and I am going with, I could not find any exterior wood stain colors that I liked. So I am going with wood stain for interior use only. But I've made my decision based on these things. Number 1, it's going to be under a covered porch. Number 2, the worst thing that can happen is that it will fade faster than normal, and then I would just have to repaint. And that's okay with me because I'm only dealing with a 4 by 6 foot area. And the next point is that I've used Minwax latex-based pickling stain outside on my fence in the bright sun, and that was done maybe 7 years ago, and it's still looking fantastic. And so I'm going to just roll the dice. You do not have to follow my advice. These are my main colors that I'm going with today. So I don't know if you can see this. So this is Varathane wood stain in the color Sandstone. And I try to use lighter wood stains, but because of the reddish undertones of this acacia wood, it needed something a little bit deeper on the green tones. And I really liked the way this looked on the wood. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint different tones kind of randomly here and there. It's going to create a little bit more interest than just one color. Then my next color is this one. It is Bare Wood Stain in the colored Weathered Gray. Cover this And then the other color that I'm going to be using is Bare Premium in Whitewash Pickling. I'm going to start with my favorite color, Sandstone. And let that sit for a sec. The next one, let's do the natural pickling color. I'm rather liking this natural pickling color. It's really beautiful. Let that sit a little bit longer than usual. Let me wipe off this color so it doesn't get too dark. It's pretty to let the wood grain come through. I don't know if you guys can see that in the sun, but it's rather beautiful, this color. Sandstone, who knew? So let's pick up the white pickling stain. Let's dry that off. Let's wipe that off. That's the white pickling stain. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really beautiful. And what I like about it is that it does take away that reddish acacia wood. And I'm gonna pick up the weathered gray. So here I am going to put a little bit of that white pickling paint color, stain color, over the weathered gray. Okay, on to the next.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arms.
Okay, I've got everything stained and I'm just playing around with sort of the pattern I want to go for. I didn't know if I wanted to do all diagonals or if I wanted to have them all meeting into a diamond shape. I think I'm going to go with, because you know how I love a good herringbone, I think I'm going to stick with a herringbone pattern. And what I want to do as I'm sort of doing a dry layout is I am labeling everything, row 1, row 2, third tile in, etc. Because the next step is I am going to give these tiles 2 layers of protective sealant. So the tiles come out about right here, so that's good. I won't have to do any cuts there, but around here I have to make 1 cut. So that's another reason why I'm dry fitting everything right now, and then I'll measure this out so I know where to cut. Okay, so before I can accurately measure around this column, I am going to remove any of the plastic loops on this one side. I don't need them anyway because they're not going to be hooking on anything. That way I can get a more accurate reading for the spacing that's going to be between the column and the tile. So let's do that. Yeah. So to get rid of these 2 loops, it's plastic, it's not that thick, so you could clip these with some pretty good shears. I happen to have some tin snips on me, and these I've used for a variety of projects. Okay. So I am going to take my tile. So I'm going to align this tile with this tile here. Let me move this over just a little bit. So I'm going to put a mark here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but here is the mark. Okay. So once we've made our mark here, we take the same tile. I haven't rotated it. Take the same tile. This is where my mark was. And we're just going to move it and align it this way. to make sure that it aligns correctly with this tile and this tile. And it does. And we're going to mark where this column is, right here. So I'm going to make it mark here. And then this is where we're going to cut out. Okay. Then we're going to take our straight edge and we'll mark this. Straight edge here. Okay. So this is where we're going to be cutting, and this is what we're going to be eliminating. Now on the back, you will notice that they put screws here and there to attach the slats to this plastic frame. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I traced approximately from the front where this back line is going to be. Okay. Okay, so we want to get rid of the plastic frame from this little corner and unscrew, I think unscrew this screw and this screw and this screw, and then it'll be easier for us to start cutting the wood. It looks like there's only one screw that's holding this slat in, so I'm going to remove the entire slat, and I'm going to cut them individually. So here is where we're going to be cutting. There's only two screws holding this guy together. I think I'm going to unscrew that too, and then we'll just screw them back in once we cut the pieces of wood. So let's see that. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can touch up the paint here a little bit later, but let's make sure that it fits before I invest any more time in this. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's see if this is going to fit to our little corner. Okay, guys, this is looking promising. Let's lift up our little Tetris puzzle. This has to fit in here. You guys, this almost never happens. That looks pretty good around the corner.
Oh my gosh, all the wood tiles are sealed and locked in. Now it's time to put our storage bins back on the porch, and we're ready for the big reveal.
I saw this welcome mat on CB2's website, and I liked it. I thought, oh, I can make that. So here is the final look